Dear investors, partners, and associates, my address to you today is as significant as the words I delivered at the inception of the GTI Group's development journey in 2014. Moreover, it now carries perhaps even greater weight for our shared future. We are just one step away from creating the most large-scale infrastructure business of the last century. Yet, as the creator of this project, to which I have devoted my entire life, I cannot conceal my apprehension. Nothing is predetermined. History is shaped every moment, and if I do not clarify the situation that concerns me today, half a century of work may prove futile. The reason for my address lies in the growing inquiries from investors and the sporadic misunderstandings regarding the current stage of the GTI Group's development. This misunderstanding erodes the level of your support, the very support that is more vital today than ever. In 2014, we truly had nothing to lose. The situation is different. We have reached the most critical stage in establishing UST as an industry-defining technology and entering the global transport and logistics market. It is precisely at this moment, when UST technology is ready for scaling, that we face risks associated with current volumes and the consistency of funding from investment platforms. Thus, the role of equity crowdfunding not only remains vital today, but becomes even more significant than at the very beginning of our journey. Today, I am speaking directly to you, to those who heard me back in 2014, when I asked for your support of UST technology to create the largest business in the history of civilization, a transport system that is biosphere-friendly, essential for all humanity, efficient, comfortable, and safe. A transport system capable of saving approximately 100 million people from road fatalities and protecting over 1 billion more from injuries and lifelong disabilities in the 21st century. A transport system that will restore to its rightful owner, the Earth's biosphere, vast lands equivalent to the size of 6 countries such as the Republic of Belarus. This is the total area of land, currently paved over and entombed beneath asphalt and rails across 60 million kilometers of roads, built on every continent, directly on the Earth's surface. A transport system that will restore soil across an area 10 times greater than the lands currently adjacent to roads. Territories contaminated by toxins and carcinogens from exhaust fumes, tire and asphalt wear, and the de-icing salts used every winter. And this degraded land today is equal in area to the territory of 60 countries, like the Republic of Belarus. We are developing a transport system that will enable the Earth to be freed from kilometers of landfills filled with 1 billion worn-out tires and millions of rusty, obsolete vehicles. A transport system that is exponentially more energy efficient than anything humanity currently possesses. This will allow us to save annually an amount of energy equivalent to billions of tons of oil worth trillions of dollars. There will be billions of tons fewer exhaust and toxic smoke gases released into the Earth's atmosphere by automobiles and conventional thermal power plants producing electrical energy for all electric transport, such as electric cars, trams, monorails, cable cars, subways, and railways, including high-speed rail or magnetic levitation trains. This also means that internal combustion engines and thermal power plant furnaces will not burn away 3 times more of the oxygen we breathe from the Earth's atmosphere. After all, burning 1 ton of fuel requires more than 3 tons of oxygen, or about 20 tons of air, which in the fuel cycle is entirely converted into exhaust and smoke gases. In 2014, it was this vision and the determination to realize a disruptive technology that brought together millions of people from more than 200 countries on every continent, individuals who cared deeply about the future of their children and grandchildren, of whom over 500,000 subsequently became our investors. Today, in 2026, I can confidently say that my address in 2014 marked the beginning of our joint journey from idea to the realization of the most global project on the planet through equity crowdfunding. It is this synergy, this combination, a grand idea plus your trust, that has yielded the results we have achieved together. I want to immediately dismiss any misinterpretations of my address today. Therefore, I will first highlight what we have already achieved together, the results that have become the foundation of our forward movement. Then I will once again clarify what we define as the most ambitious business project of the past 100 years and what steps we need to take to bring this project to full realization. Following that, I will outline the challenges we are currently facing and naturally present my vision of how we can proceed confidently, consistently, and in full alignment with the goal that has remained unchanged since the inception of our partnership. Let us now proceed in order. Regarding the achievements and outcomes amassed over 11 years of work by the GTI Group, its intellectual flagship, the engineering company Юницкий String Technologies Incorporated, a dedicated documentary, will be released soon. Here, I would like to emphasize our key achievements and what all our investors within the GTI Group currently possess. This is the foundation we have built together, which we must preserve and enhance. First, thanks to equity crowdfunding and the support of each investor, I, as the author and general designer of UST, have established a premier engineering school. As a result, Юницкий String Technologies Incorporated is officially recognized as a scientific organization, accredited by the National Academy of Sciences and the State Committee on Science and Technology of the Republic of Belarus. The Юницкий Engineering School consists of highly qualified personnel, over 1,000 top-tier specialists in science, design, engineering, manufacturing, and construction. Our personnel are based in Minsk across 2 office buildings, 9 and 4 stories respectively, with a total area of approximately 15,000 square meters. These assets are owned by the GTI Group, which means they belong to our investors. In addition, more than 1,000 high-tech, intelligent workstations have been created, each with an average cost of approximately $10,000. We have acquired licensed, specialized engineering software at a total cost of approximately $10 million. These tools are indispensable. Without them, it would be impossible to design any structural or technological element of the UST transport infrastructure. Moreover, without these complex computational and design programs, which require constant maintenance and updates, we could not have certified our technology, nor would we be able to implement any commercial projects in the future. We have developed hundreds of unique know-hows and published over 200 scientific articles and monographs. Furthermore, we have secured more than 100 patents and trademarks for our inventions and industrial designs in over 50 countries worldwide. In Belarus, for the first time globally, national standards for freight and passenger string transport have been set. These also apply to other countries, including Russia, where dozens of our site-specific projects are underway. Second, demonstration and testing centers for UST have been designed, constructed, and certified in the Republic of Belarus and the United Arab Emirates, with a total length of transport and logistics complexes exceeding 7 kilometers, featuring 4 fundamentally different types of innovative pre-stressed rail string transport overpasses: flexible, semi-flexible, semi-rigid, and rigid. The complexes are situated over an area of approximately 60 hectares and are equipped with 10 anchor supports, integrated with passenger stations, maintenance workshops, dispatch centers, and all necessary second-level transport infrastructure. No one in the world before us has managed to create such a comprehensive transport and logistics structure for new types of transport. Neither the Siemens Group, with its Transrapid maglev technology, nor the various Hyperloop companies developing vacuum tunnel transport have achieved what we have. Despite attracting billions of dollars in investment and employing far larger engineering teams over many more years, they have not reached our level of results. Thirdly, we have created 15 fundamentally distinct models of unmanned rail electric vehicles on steel wheels, both overhead and suspended, for cargo and passenger use, as single units and as trains, each matching the complexity of an aircraft. Moreover, they surpass, for instance, Elon Musk's Tesla electric car not only in efficiency, but also in functionality. Specifically, they feature redundant anti-derailment systems, an external onboard power supply, and even an automated onboard linear control system. We independently designed these autonomous rail vehicles, fully manufactured them in our own facilities, and tested them in our own testing centers. 2 additional models of Unimobiles are in the production stage, and 5 models are in the design phase. In other words, in a much shorter period, we have developed a lineup of electric vehicle models twice as extensive as Tesla has in its 22 years of existence, and with over $15 billion in investment. Fourthly, we have built the high-tech SW plant from the ground up, equipping it with state-of-the-art machinery, including 5-axis CNC machining centers, each costing over 3 million euros. To date, the R&D and core development phase of the UST technology is practically fully funded. The technology has evolved beyond industrial prototypes and is now certified as commercial-grade solutions, the UST urban and cargo complexes. These systems, capable of speeds up to 150 kilometers per hour, are operational in 2 key locations, the Republic of Belarus and the United Arab Emirates. However, in reality, this is not yet a mature business. It is the foundation of a business with immense growth potential. The UST technology was not created simply to be sold. No one buys technology as such. The UST technology is realized through specific commercial projects. This is precisely where the sale takes place, generating revenue from which profit can be formed and, in our case, used for investor remuneration. Therefore, the more commercial projects are tied to the same technology, the greater the sales, revenue, and profit will be. It is from this pool that investor remuneration will be drawn for those who invested in the creation of this technology. Thus, the UST technology itself does not generate profit. It is merely a necessary technological component of a larger transport and logistics business. The profit and dividends to Henry Ford's investors were not ensured by the Ford car itself, assembled in a garage. In other words, not by the technology alone. Profit was created by industrial-scale manufacturing, specifically through the replication and scaling of the transport technology known as the automobile. However, the creation of the automotive industry in Detroit also required massive capital investment, and Ford addressed this challenge by raising additional funds from the investment market. Elon Musk's Tesla electric car had a somewhat similar investment story. Tesla was founded in 2003, yet even in 2019, 16 years later, it was still operating at a loss. The annual loss amounted to $862 million. It was only in 2020, 17 years later, that Tesla achieved a net profit of $721 million. By this time, massive factories had been built, over 1 million Tesla electric vehicles had been delivered to global markets, and the large workforces necessary for large-scale electric vehicle production had been established. To achieve this, additional investments were secured, along with government subsidies and regulatory credits totaling over $10 billion. And without these multi-billion investments, Tesla would not have had any business. there are no miracles in the economy, and without adequate investment, large businesses are truly not created. In our case, the engine for delivering these commercial projects is the GTI Group, which employs over 1,000 highly skilled engineering specialists. At the helm is our lead engineering company, Юницкий String Technologies Incorporated, where I serve as general designer and chairman of the board. The company comprises more than 600 specialized scientific design and engineering units, as well as unique pilot production facilities for creating components of commercial projects, unmatched anywhere in the world. Here, we have established the world's only engineering schools dedicated to UST technology, spanning scientific, technological, design engineering, and manufacturing disciplines. Over $100 million have been invested into these schools over the past 11 years, into the salaries of engineering staff, tax payments, office spaces, and the creation of over 1,000 computerized workplaces, and much more, without which world-class engineering schools cannot be created and function successfully. This is the very factory for producing targeted projects that I mentioned. With its current composition, it can implement up to 5 targeted projects annually, with a total length of string roads up to 200 kilometers and a total cost of up to $2 billion. As order volumes grow, we will scale our staffing to handle the increased demand for design and engineering work. However, in the future, we will be able to achieve this not from investments, but from the profit of completed projects. As you know from the document, the GTI Group Development Strategy for 2025 to 2035, we are currently at the stage of technology scaling. We have over 200 targeted projects in progress at various stages of implementation. Our first commercial project, Юнилет, has already been certified and put into operation in Belarus. Construction has already begun on the second project located at the Sosny Sanatorium in Belarus. And importantly, I want to emphasize once again, all these achievements have been made possible solely due to your support and your faith in me as the creator of the UST technology. I am sincerely and profoundly grateful to every investor in the UST technology. All assets of the GTI Group belong to our investors. It is their property, which must continue to be capitalized and supported, requiring approximately $2.5 million in monthly investments. This stage of commencing the technology scaling and commercialization of the industry-forming UST technology is the most critical and greatest challenge for all of us, both for the technology developer and for its investors. Over the years of development, we have had to overcome numerous challenges, from rejection, distrust, malicious criticism to geopolitical crises and an international pandemic. Despite all the difficulties, we have successfully overcome them and only grown in our results. I am confident that we will achieve equally positive results in facing these new challenges. What challenges in 2026 am I referring to? First, the UST technology is still in the venture development stage. At this point, large-scale serial implementation of commercial projects has not yet been reached. We are only approaching this phase, and there is no stable income from engineering activities to cover the monthly operating expenses of the GTI Group. Second, we must prepare for technology scaling by expanding our engineering and commercial teams, establishing marketing offices in various countries, and much more, all of which requires additional funding. Third, in different countries additional, I would even say unexpected, financial burdens arise. For example, land rent in Sharjah has tripled to $2 million per year compared to what we paid before 2026. Unlike the transport technologies I mentioned, such as Transrapid, Tesla, or Hyperloop, we receive no government assistance. Many countries have invested billions of euros and dollars in these transport technologies, which are not industry-forming, unlike UST. In reality, we are the ones helping the state, creating jobs and paying taxes. Our only reliable partners, proven through years of collaboration, are you, our investors. Yes, we already have revenue from industry projects, and it's not the first year, and it is continuously increasing. But so far, we cannot generate a profit because all revenue is reinvested to cover current operating expenses. Therefore, the GTI holding company requires regular strategic investment to ensure the sustained growth and long-term stability of the entire GTI group. It is necessary to emphasize once again that the GTI group belongs not personally to the author and general designer of the technology, but to all our investors. Here, dear partners, lies our biggest and most challenging task: to increase equity crowdfunding activity. Such activity will make it possible to fully cover, through investment funding, the operating expenses of the GTI Group of Companies, primarily those of its technological core, Юницкий string technologies. Under this financing model, the entire revenue from projects, 100%, will go towards generating profit, meaning investor remuneration. In this process, both existing and new investors will not suffer as their shares in GTI will not be diluted. Only those shares that were initially issued in 2014 for equity crowdfunding will be in circulation. No additional issuance of shares is being carried out or will be carried out in the future. Consequently, my personal investments will also help sustain GTI Group's operations, allowing all project revenue to be directed toward investor returns. In this context, I am ready to return my first personal profit as the largest investor back to the company for the benefit of all our other investors. Creating a new industry is comparable to a marathon, where not everyone reaches the finish line, and many drop out along the way, some sooner, some later. For those who fall out, the goal seems very distant and unattainable, and their motivation wanes along the marathon journey. We have already had such an experience. When some of our investment partners left the marathon, and without seeing through the creation of a new industry, opted for a sprint in hopes of rapid financial returns, we also know how unfortunately this ended for some of them. This also happens, and it is normal. It is a personal choice for each investor and investment partner, which they undoubtedly have the right to make. But I am certain that most of our investors are ready to run this marathon with us to the final outcome. As part of the GTI Group's development strategy, aimed at preparing for an IPO and distributing investor returns, we are not only optimizing the structure of the group itself, but also refining our engagement strategy with partner investment platforms. Our primary goal remains to enhance transparency, interaction, and protection of investors' interests. Following this logic, the online platform RSW system, a true marathoner in our industry, recently underwent a strategic rebranding and will soon operate as a dedicated marketing company under the new brand Micron Global. This investment platform, unlike others, will be accountable to the GTI Group according to the agreements reached. Thus, the investment platform will operate solely in the interest of all our investors. Therefore, the risk of unscrupulous actions by its management will be completely eliminated. The CEO of Micron Global and GTI Group investor, Maxim Izip, has supported our project almost since its inception. For many years, he has worked effectively and consistently in the interest of not only our investors, but also humanity as a whole. After all, it is humanity, our children and grandchildren, who need the biosphere technologies we are creating. Over the years of our collaboration, Maxim Izip has never given us a reason to doubt his competence, professionalism, and integrity. His contribution to the project's development deserves genuine respect and recognition. In the near future, Micron Global will also encompass several adjacent and rapidly capitalizable technologies I have developed, which are friendly to the biosphere of all life on our planet, including humans. Let me separately mention the RSW Systems website. This is where the entire equity crowdfunding process for the UST technology originally began. It will move forward in its mission incorporating select changes and enhancements. For instance, all investors who have invested in the UST technology, regardless of the platform used for these investments, will have access to special participation conditions on the RSW Systems platform throughout 2026 as a token of recognition and gratitude. For all our active partners, the most advantageous career path is with Micron Global, where you contribute to new investors becoming co-owners of industry-leading UST technology. At the same time, it is evident that the key risks, scientific, technological, project-related, engineering, constructional, commercial, and others, have already been overcome, and that the waiting horizon for investor remuneration cannot be considered long-term. After all, we have over 200 targeted projects underway. Investor remuneration does not imply waiting for excessively long time frames. It is crucial to continue investing in UST at this moment, as it is the tool, the factory that, through the execution of targeted projects, will generate ever-increasing profit, which will be used for investor remuneration, return of investments, and buybacks. We are steadily entering the global transport and logistics market with a share of no less than 25%, and this market is worth trillions of dollars. And then we will truly move ahead of everyone for the long term. At this very moment, every investor in string transport technology faces a personal choice: to be tempted by a sprint, expecting a quick but uncertain outcome, or to stay the course and complete this marathon, knowing that the finish line is near and the reward is incomparably greater. The choice is yours.